And, Your Honors, going to that direct conflict, I think if you consider the express limitation within the statute of availability.
Well, before we do that, can I just step back and get your understanding of the statute? You made some representations as to how you see it working, and so let me tell you what I think, and then you can tell me whether you agree, disagree, or otherwise. So I think that there are two things that are plain, pretty plain on the face of this statute. One is that EMTALA is about the provision of stabilizing care for people who are experiencing emergency medical conditions. That's one thing I think the statute is doing. And I also think that it is operating to displace the prerogatives of hospitals or states or whomever with respect to that fairly narrow slice of the healthcare universe. This idea of emergency medical services is like one very minor part or small part of the sort of overall healthcare provision of healthcare. So what that means is that when a hospital wants to only provide stabilizing care in emergencies for people who can pay for it, for example, EMTALA says, no, I'm sorry, you have to stabilize anyone who's experiencing an emergency medical condition. Or when a hospital wants to provide stabilizing treatments to people who are experiencing only certain kinds of emergency conditions, EMTALA says, no, here's the list of conditions, and you have to provide stabilizing care for those people. Similarly, if a state says, look, it's our job to govern all of health care in our state, and we say that only certain kinds of health care can be given to people who are experiencing emergency medical conditions. We don't want whatever treatment. We want only certain kinds of treatment. And EMTALA says, no, we are directing that as a matter of federal law, when someone presents with an emergency condition, they have to be assessed, and the hospital must do whatever is in its capacity to stabilize them. Is that your understanding of the statute?
Partially, Your Honor. We agree that EMTALA does impose a federal stabilization requirement, but the question here is, what is the content of that stabilization requirement? And for that, you have to reference state law.
Okay, well,